So how do we homeschool? And what is our homeschool philosophy? I've shared quite a bit on the channel over the last few months about homeschooling in general, and I thought, today is the day, it's time to dive in, get a little bit more personal with you and share exactly how we homeschool and to share with you what philosophies we are guided by here in our homeschool. Today's video is a collaboration with a few other lovely homeschool mamas. I always like to hear how others do it, so I kind of figured that you would too. I just always learn so much from other homeschoolers sharing their stories. Such a valuable thing to sit and watch or listen if you can't actually be watching, to listen to other stories. I love doing that. I get so much out of it. The goal here is that we hope that you do as well. So we've created a playlist. So after watching this video, click on down to the description box and you will see a link to the playlist, which will link you to every other video that has been shared covering this topic. And they're from different homeschooling mums. So all you need to do is click on the link and each video will play through for you. Never know, you might find yourself another new homeschool YouTubing mama to follow. I just want to add a small note before I jump into this. Philosophies, styles, methods, whatever you want to call them, at times can become an area of contention in homeschooling circles. And especially sometimes in online homeschooling forums, because we all believe that what we're doing is the best way to do things. So please know what I share here is simply my story. It's simply my truth. It is what I have come to learn works best for me and for my family in my home. And I am in no way telling anyone that if you do things differently to me, that you're doing it wrong. In fact, that is never any intention I have with anything I share. I'm always simply sharing my stories, my experiences, my truths. It's never ever to say that the thoughts and ideas that are out there that are different from mine are in some way wrong, because they are not. There is really room for all of us and all of our varied opinions and thoughts around this topic. So let me first start out by saying I've been homeschooling close to 15 years now, so since 2007, and I've definitely succumbed to the shiny new object syndrome, or the shiny new homeschooling brand syndrome. I've tried most of them that are out there in some way, shape or form. Trust me, you name it, I'm sure I've given it a go. So when we first began homeschooling, my initial helper or friend that I made, she was a delightful, knowledgeable lady who was a classical homeschooler. And so of course, her way of doing things brushed off onto me. And we did begin in our world of homeschooling as classical homeschoolers. And the time she spent with me, I will always appreciate, because it was an invaluable learning exercise for me to have with her. I went forth and devoured everything put out by Peace Hill Press and the classical homeschool structure. That meant read The Well-Trained Mind and then buying up all the curriculum from Peace Hill Press put out by Susan Wise Bauer. Some of you will be aware of the history program, The Story of the World. So again, that follows a classical homeschool 4-year cycle. So of course we jumped in and devoured everything that they had. Worked quite well for us for the first few years. My eldest was a calm, easygoing, compliant child. And truth be told, I could have given him anything and he would have done it. And he would have excelled in it as well. He was just that type of kid. But I was becoming bored. So very bored. Very little fun in this style. It was just filled with books, workbooks, memorization and more memorization. And I just felt I wasn't enjoying homeschooling. I'd lost any fun about homeschooling the kids with the classical method. Then it was time for my second child to jump on board the homeschooling bandwagon. She was getting ready to actually start doing some more formal schoolwork. And the classical method did not suit her at all. So we floundered around, dabbled in some unit studies. We used quite a lot of Montessori-inspired activities and programs for quite a little while. Nothing was close to perfect for us. Nothing really grabbed us, nothing really gelled, nothing stuck with us for the longevity. Although we certainly did enjoy some amazing unit studies, and some of those days are some of my best memories around homeschooling. Unit studies can be so much fun. And I had Montessori inspired learning shelves set up for quite a few years. They worked particularly well, especially when I had the toddler in the house and I was trying to do focus school with my older kids. The toddler was free to explore our Montessori inspired learning activities. So that part of Montessori worked really well for us. It was around this time that we decided to jump into unschooling, and truly we really did give it our all. We completely unschooled for quite a good period of time, but it just wasn't for us. It was just too loose and free. Nothing grounding us, nothing guiding us, nothing connecting us. It was just a bunch of random activities chosen by my child or children to do, and we all felt just a little lost in that environment. And my eldest especially was craving more. We all needed more. For me or us in our home, unschooling is not the way forward. However, that does not mean that we just jump straight back into that full-on classical homeschooling style. No, sorry, we were not going back to that. You see, our time unschooling, it really opened my eyes to so many things. One of those firstly is that we don't know what we don't know. And therefore, when left to our own devices to learn what we want to learn and figure out this world around us, we will very often only stay confined within our comfortable, safe little box of the things that we want to learn about and the things that we want to explore. And in those moments, we don't know what we could be missing unless someone else has potentially introduced them to us. So that was the one big reason why I felt unschooling isn't the path. Complete unschooling is not the path. And then we have the fact that every single society that's gone before us has passed down from their elders all the information, all the needed to know things about their society. Their elders have passed them down to the young people in society. And I strongly believe that we must not stop doing that. As elders, it is our duty to ensure that our young people understand our world, that our young people have an understanding and an education about the world that they are growing up in. But the way we're currently facilitating that, forcing kids to sit at desks 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, 40 weeks out of the year, expecting them to take in 1,000,001 facts and figures, regurgitate them and spew them back out at us is absolutely ludicrous in my mind. Today's current model of education is slowly destroying our youth, and we can see that all around us. Our kids need to love the world in which they live. They need to be excited about planet Earth and everything that has gone on here. They need to want to know more. They need to be inspired and encouraged and engaged in what they are learning. And it is up to us elders to find a way to do that. So this time taught me that we need to strive to find balance between those two worlds. Between the world of complete and free unschooling, where the child is choosing to learn and do whatever they wish to do, and what we as elders feel is important for them to know. Somewhere in the middle there's a balance. There's a nice middle point. And again, that will probably be different for each child, but it's up to us to find that middle ground. And so this time taught me that. It taught me that I need to find a way to strike that balance. Neither the extreme of unschooling or rigorous school day has the answer. It is somewhere in the between. And that in between will be different for everyone. And so after this period of time, we slowly but gently merged into what we now do today, and really what we've been doing for quite a few years. Homeschooling in between? It's probably the easiest way I can put it. We homeschool in between. So our relaxed, eclectic, hot mess homeschooling, we do not follow any one style, method, or philosophy of home education. We just don't. We simply do what works. And when it stops working, we stop doing it and we pivot and we look for something else to test and try. And if that works, we continue to do that until it no longer works for us. We look at what we want to learn and what is available to us out there in the terms of programs and curriculums that we could possibly use that may help guide us. Sometimes it's a full curriculum, sometimes it's something that we completely pull together ourselves. It just depends on the moment and what it is that we're wanting to focus on and learn. And then in other areas of our lives, the kids have 100% complete autonomy. For example, technology. I'm done. I cannot teach my kids anything about technology. I go to them when I have technology questions. They are teaching me. There is no point in us sitting down doing any type of technology lesson because they are not going to learn one thing from doing that with me. I go to them for every tech question that I have. We also use a combination of tutors, outside classes, and co-ops to meet varying needs within our home, along with a gentle language arts program, easy to follow science and history guides. But the key point for us is we never ever do any formal schooling for longer than 2 hours a day. That doesn't include quiet reading time and documentary watching. So if we're reading a lot and watching a lot of documentaries, we can be gathered for around 3 hours. But our formal book work never ever is any more than 2 hours a day. The rest of the day, we are either out of the house, participating in various classes and activities that the kids have chosen, or we're enjoying doing our own thing here at home. Over the years, I guess I've come to realise that there really are only a very small handful of things that our kids absolutely must know, that it is imperative for them to learn as part of their formal education. How to read, how to spell, and how to write well. It is also imperative that they have enough math skills for them to live an ordinary, average life in the community. How to research and how to articulate their findings and their ideas in informed, well-mannered, respectful fashion. And of course, a decent level of general knowledge about the world we live in is pretty important as well. Everything else is icing on the cake. Okay, of course, as kids enter their upper teen years and most of them will start exploring what it is that they might do after their schooling, they may need to look more closely at those plans and what things that they may need to focus on in order to be able to achieve those plans. But for a child around 12 years of age and under, none of this is necessary at all. None of it. So this is what guides us on our journey of education. Do we get it right all the time? Absolutely not. No way. I fail a lot, but we just pick ourselves up and we move on, we ditch what didn't work and we look for something new and we just chalk it up to experience because it's all experience and it's all adding to our education, and we just get ourselves back into the boxing ring of learning, always seeking, always moving forward, and always learning. So be sure to watch all the other videos in this series. So click on down now into the description box below and there's the playlist link there where you can go through and watch each of the other videos shared in this series of how others homeschool and what philosophies they use inside their home. I hope this was valuable to you. I hope it gave you a glimpse of my genuine hot mess homeschooling, because I do just do what feels right for me in those moments with the kids. There isn't this massive grand plan that I have for our journey, and I don't think that there needs to be honest. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, bye for now.